Hi, welcome to A Path to Peace in Marriage. This is our first class, and today we're going to be talking about listening and changing the way actually that we listen and learning to validate what the other person is saying. Validate means to give value to. And we're going to start with this poem that is in Hugh Del Conzo's Self-Mastery book, A Journey Home to Yourself. And then we're going to talk about how to apply this information into our lives.
So I think when we were first married, I think I felt myself saying a lot, "You're not listening to me," or "I don't feel heard."
Right.
And some of that comes from my own, past beliefs and background. And so this course that we took that Hugh teaches, Self-Mastery, Journey Home to Yourself, has a whole chapter on spiritual relationships that really helped us develop a great relationship.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to read this poem called Listen to Me. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you've not done what I've asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel the way I'm feeling, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me, please don't make me feel that you have something to save me or solve my problems. When you try to make me feel better, you failed me. As strange as this may seem to you, I'm asking you to listen to me, not talk or do something, but just listen to me. When you do something for me that I need to do for myself, you contribute to my feelings of inadequacy. When you accept as a simple fact that I'm feeling what I'm feeling, no matter how irrational I sound, I can quit trying to convince you and I can go back to understanding why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Please listen to me and just duplicate what I said so that I know you are listening to me.
And as she was reading that, I was thinking about where I've made, certainly not only the mistakes I made early in our marriage, but in my first marriage as well. My wife would frequently come home and complain about her job, and she did that so often that I just said, then quit, go find another job. Just leave that job if you're that unhappy. I did not understand this really critical step of validation. So when Pratima might say she's really, talking about something that's going on in her job, now I say, wow, that sounds really frustrating. It sounds like you're frustrated. And I think that's normal that you would be frustrated with that. And in that way, she feels heard, that her frustration has been heard, and it's a completely different paradigm and a place to come from of compassion and understanding than where I was coming from in my first marriage, when I was really coming from a place of frustration. I was really just trying to get her to stop complaining.
Right.
Instead of feeling heard.
Right. And I wanted to take on this exercise of validation because I see it as an area where I need to improve, especially with our 15-year-old daughter. So she will say often, "You're not listening to me." And I'll say, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm not listening to you. So I realize I need to take a step back and validate whatever it is that she's saying or feeling, and stop trying to make her wrong for having that point of view. And my hope is that if I do a better job of listening to her and validating her, and we teach her validation, that it will help everyone to feel heard, so we don't get into that space where we're just trying to talk over each other and interrupt, and finally we just get frustrated and angry and storm out of the room.
And one of the other things that we can really do that is beneficial is to do a better job of celebrating our successes. If Pratima comes home and something happened really wonderful at work, or she found a great deal, because she loves to shop clearance. So if she finds a great deal, then I want to amplify that good feeling instead of just saying okay and then switching the channel, turn the back off mute on the TV. I want to really amplify that how happy she is. Oh, that sounds wow, that's a really great find. I'm very happy that you found something in clearance. But because it helps her even feel better, about the find.
Right. Yeah. Because one of the things that we talk about is where your attention goes, energy flows. And so we want to look at what we're paying attention to so that we can flow energy into those positive areas. So just a little bit about how validation works is to help that person. So if I say, I had a really frustrating day at work because somebody was angry with me, then you could say,
oh, that sounds really frustrating.
Yeah, so kind of just validating that feeling of, yeah, I understand that. That is frustrating.
Right.
So the second piece of validation then is anybody would feel that way.
Sure.
Right?
So it's normal. If you say there's three really steps in validation. It's normal. First you say, wow, it sounds really frustrating. I think that's normal. I think anybody would feel that way in that situation. And it's because what that allows her to then do is say, yeah, and then focus on the feeling so that she can actually feel the feeling of frustration and release it. And that way she doesn't take that frustration into her next encounter at work.
Right. And it's easy to validate when someone's talking about something other than the relationship.
Right.
And so that is where we have found the most opportunity is if we're having a disagreement about something in a house. And so there's two areas that I feel like couples really have a lot of disagreement around, and that seems to be chores and money. So that's pretty common. And, and even we have some maybe frustration around chores. So maybe we'll just role play with that, and I'll start. So, and it may or may not be true, right? So we'll just kind of have to go with that. It's like I feel really frustrated when I come home and the sink is full of dishes and the trash needs to be taken out and the house is just like cluttered.
I understand. I completely understand how you would feel frustrated by that.
Yeah, because I've been at work all day and I come home and I want to just have a time to relax. And when I see that the house, there's so many things that need to be done, I feel like I have to get in work mode again.
Right. And yeah, I understand that. So we can work on that.
So maybe what would really help me is during the day you do your dishes and just kind of look around and see what needs to be picked up. And I don't mind doing that a little bit, and then that way I can come home and I can think about starting dinner.
Okay, I think I can do that.
Okay.
Now the old way that I would have done that is I would have defended, and so the defense is when she says, she comes home and I worked all day too. I was working all day too. And so immediately is you put this wall up of I'm not responsible for your feelings. And she's not asking me to be responsible for her feelings. And that was a big shift, a big paradigm shift for me to realize is I thought she was blaming me. I thought she was looking for me to be responsible for why she feels frustrated. Instead of just saying, okay, I understand that you feel frustrated and
allow me to be frustrated.
Right.
And that's a big gift is when you allow me the space to just be angry or frustrated and just vent for a while, even if it's about you or work or the daughter or whatever that is a big gift for me because I am more of a verbal person and I need to sometimes flush those out. And one of the other techniques that we teach is instead of saying you don't ever do the dishes during the day, is to say I feel I feel. And so there are two words we have tried very diligently to strike from our vocabulary, and that is you always
Or you never.
or you never.
And we learned that from Star Wars. It's those are always and never are the terms of a Sith Lord. So we try not to be a Sith Lord in this household.
Yes. So I hope that you find these techniques really useful. If you have, please subscribe and like our videos, and maybe press the notification so you can get notified when we put out more videos.
Thank you. Hope this was helpful for you.